in the objective of connecting to people, we prefer to be connected to other people. And so it was out of a problem. It was born out of a problem. Like, it was very low response rates, and it was always a challenge to see how could we increase that. So a typical flow, even for a lot of businesses, is there's a acute moment where the person is interested, done a good enough job that they're like, I'm curious, I'm interested. Then life happens. They get busy, the urgency goes away, whatever it might be, life happens, and they start going down this spiral of unresponsiveness. I'll be honest, I've fallen into this trap. It's most commonly happens whenever we've had to shop for mortgages. I don't know if you've ever done this, or like I've made the mistake of submitting one of those like mortgage rate comparison forms, which just gave my information to like 20 different, loan officers. But there's an example, like in the moment, I needed a rate. Why? Because I was in the process of buying. Like, yes, there was high intent that I could be a good customer for you. And in the aftermath of getting, it's kind of, multiple things at play. I'm getting almost overwhelmed by outreach. That can happen, right? Yeah. This happens to consumers and customers all the time. It's like, if I'm like, man, I want to lose weight, I might reach out to one gym, or I might reach out to 5. Right? It's just the reality, right? Comparison shopping is more and more common. And what that means, so if a prospect reaches out to you, you're not the only person they reached out to. And so you're not just playing the game of, can I get around to them eventually to answer their questions? And then you're not even just playing the game of, can I answer it correctly? It is a game of attention. It is, how do you capture and hold attention? Otherwise, you will lose just by not enduring. I think of like a lot of like one-on-one sports. We see a lot of pickleball now, or like tennis or ping pong. A totally valid strategy is endurance to win. Yeah. You just don't make mistakes, and you stay consistent. And you don't even have to be fancy, but just not making mistakes and staying consistent, you can win on that. Now, what happens if you got 2 players who are both good? They don't make mistakes and they stay consistent. Well, then you got to get fancy. And that's kind of what it was for us, is we were in markets where there might be multiple players who all are like, hey, if you opt in, I'm going to keep on reaching out to you for 2 months, every single day, whatever it might be. Then you had to find a way to stand out. And these are like, what are the pattern interrupts that clue us in or just gather our attention? And I found it was the people side of it, the comedy side of it. Like, there's a self-deprecating approachability to it. If you can laugh at yourself, they are now invited to laugh at you with them. But all of a sudden, by them engaging, whatever it is, the door's open. We're in the same room now.
Yeah.
So it's a disarming way to engage in the conversation. So we've done the intentional misspelling is a good one. The sent too soon is a good one. We have even done the text to my spouse. So the picture of like in the grocery store, and this is usually we'll reactivate on the weekends. So imagine a reactivation on the weekends of, did you want the organic or not organic? Right? And then they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that's for my wife. And then we just let it be, and people engage. Then when they like, not even a call to action, it is just like, we're here in the same room. When they say, oh, I was also at the grocery store, and then you got a conversation going. Then it's like, oh, how funny. Also, I'm noticing like you were supposed to come in for a trial. Should I get you on Tuesday? Right? All of a sudden it disarms. You can use a little bit of humor, and in the challenge of gathering attention, it's a great way to get folks' attention.
I know. So you mentioned People Over Profit. Is that the Dale Partridge book? I think that might've been it.
That is the one.
And then,
that sounds familiar.
And then this sounds like a lot of the things that are in, I know another book I know that you and I both like, Predictably Irrational. Another great book to check. So definitely a couple of good books for people to look at this. But I think a big part of it is just being willing to put away your ego in your marketing strategies. It's not about always being perfect. It is about being human and relatable and connecting, and remembering that you are connecting one person to another person. So I love this concept of manufacturer mistake for all of the levels, just the efficacy, the human side of it. So cool.